what they told us was it was not up to the tasting panel's standard. Now, who's on the tasting panel? I have no idea. I know it's Buffalo Trace employees, but I was very disappointed, not going to lie. So I am super excited to get to try this one. Thank you, whoever got this, both of y'all.
There was a Kenny special.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you.
Yeah. So I was on that panel, and
Yeah, you were. Hello, and welcome everyone to episode of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We are your hosts, Kenny, Anthony, and Jason is back with us. Woo! Awesome.
Who invited this guy?
I know. It's like we have one episode with him. He doesn't leave. And then he's like,
you get me down here, I'm not leaving.
He's just like, I'm not leaving, guys. And we're like, fine, okay, great. It's all good.
I just lay in the floor, bring me a funnel, and just,
Yeah.
it's fine.
I'm going to call you Diogi.
Me and Diogi have bonded. We're good.
He's somewhere around here.
He's right here beside me.
All right, there you go.
That's my boy.
Jason's got the dogs all riled up. Everything's all good, man. But no, we're well into the new year now, and I'm so happy to be joined by both of you. And I'm thinking about an experience I had about a month ago that was a really, really fun time.
Is it one you can talk about on the air?
It's one I can. Well, I can't talk about what some of these guys said, but I can talk about on the air.
So it involves more than one hand.
Hey, will you stop, Kenny?
Did you drink any Thomas H. Handy while you were there?
If you know him as well as I do. Thomas H. Handy. Anyway, my God. I'm not going to be able to tell anything serious with you guys here. Might as well just stop right now. I quit. I'm going to take the headphones off. Here we go.
We got this. Let's go Kenny and Jason show, baby.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
I'm not sure if we'll notice, but we'll see.
We need him to keep us in line.
All right, I'm back already. I was upset about that. Okay, here we go. All right. So about a month ago, you guys ever heard of the Bourbon Hunters podcast?
I have.
Yeah.
So the Bourbon
Ohio
Hunters,
guys, right?
Yeah, Ohio guys. They're out of Columbus, Ohio, and they're a bunch of good guys. I'm closest with JD Fritches. He's on there, and it's Dude Pool and Flying Buckeye.
I've just seen two of them.
There's a lot of them.
Okay.
They always have it. And Jason Clory.
It's like an infinity bottle.
It's like an infinity bottle.
Podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys know Jason Clory with Mash and Drum, right?
No, but I do know that guy. Anybody the first name Jason's great, though.
There you go. Exactly, right. So he also will jump on there. He'll jump on there from time to time, and he has a very successful YouTube channel.
He does.
And he's probably one of the biggest ones out there. But he'll jump on their podcast at times. And so they were coming down to do their annual, I think they call it the Bourbon Bash Extravaganza or something like that. And they've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years. And so JD and I have developed a good rapport. We're buddies now. We chat on the phone once in a while. We're texting probably daily. And I had given him some blinds a long time ago. He did them. It was a lot of fun. But he said, if you're not doing anything, when we come down, we're going to do a pick at Pursuit United.
Nice.
So you guys know Pursuit United, right?
Yep.
The famous podcasters turned bourbon company, and they're making a lot of waves. We reviewed some of their products. So they said, we're doing a pick there, and then we're going to be hanging out and stuff. You want to join us for the pick, and then join us for the Saturday night hangout too? And I said, sure. If I'm able to, I will. And I wanted to take Kenny, but he copped out at last minute, of course. We won't talk about that. But
yeah, another barrel pick to go to, probably.
Yeah, it was another barrel pick, or what was it, Kenny? What excuse did you have for that one?
No, I stayed home that night.
Yeah, he did.
Because we had our blinds round, our second round of blinds the following day.
It butted up against Best of Blinds, so I guess you get that too. But long and short of it was this. Pursuit United pick was, well, go ahead, please.
But the night before, Todd and Lindsay were in town.
That's right. Yeah,
so me, Alves, Todd, and Lindsay all hung out that Friday night. Yeah. So I didn't want to do like 3 nights in a row.
Yeah, if you did 3 nights, that's exactly what it was. I totally forgot about that. When they came in and that was last minute, that kind of upended everything. So, but anyway, so picking at Pursuit United was pretty interesting. I think they put out like 5 or 6 barrels for us. But the funniest thing is, so you guys, Jason, you've listened to Bourbon Pursuit, right?
For sure. Yeah. I saw them at Perry and their show here.
The live show and all that. So I had met Kenny Coleman before at Perry's thing. Kenny, you met him too. Kenny and Kenny. I always say our Kenny, their Kenny. And then Ryan Cecil.
I'll take our Kenny.
I do as well. But then Ryan Cecil's the other guy that does a lot of the blending and like a lot of the stuff with their whole outfit, right? And
he's on the show too, though. Right?
Yeah, he's on the show.
Yeah, I've heard him online. Never met him in person.
Yeah, no. And so it's funny when I got there, I was the first person there because they were all running late. So Roger Schaefer, Kenny, you know Roger, right? He's one of our listeners out of Texas. Yeah, he's interacted with us a lot, but he's also a brand ambassador for Bourbon Pursuit. So he was there. It was really good to catch up with him and talk with him. And then they had other people that worked for Pursuit there. And Ryan was kind of running around trying to make a reel for Instagram. And so after he got done, I went over to him and I'm like, meeting you is like meeting Mickey Mantle. And he was like, oh, what? He was like, no, what are you talking about? And I'm like, because I'm always like, I've listened to these guys for years and you get a chance to interact with them and talk to them and stuff. But the guys from Ohio, fantastic. We actually ended up selecting a barrel. Not me. I didn't select the barrel because I was the only one that wanted a certain barrel. And I said, don't listen to what I say. But everybody lined up behind a barrel that was actually picked by Fred Minnick previously. But Fred allowed the barrel to be back released into the program. I can't remember exactly
That's mighty
why.
wide of him.
Yeah. So it was a very good thing that Fred allowed that barrel to be released back into the program.
Mr. Minnick.
Yeah, Mr. Minnick. Yep. And so they selected it, and that will be coming out for them. I'm not sure if they shared it with anybody else, but it had a really nice mapley nose. I think it was a double oak bourbon. It was all double oak.
I was going to say it's a double oak because honestly,
double-oaked.
of the last things I've had from them, actually all the things I've had from them, double oaked is by far the best. It's really good.
Right, I think so. I think their double oak bourbon and rye is actually pretty good. Yeah. I'm still like kind of feeling out the other things, but we had a great time. Enjoyed meeting all the guys there. They brought a crew of like 14 people.
Oh wow!
It was a large, raucous crew. Great time. Spent a lot of time talking to JD, of course, and then I went over and bought a Pursuit United hat. And I also bought their Community Roundtable Rye, which I think eventually we'll be able to review on the podcast as well. But it was the one that they selected, the Community Roundtable selected, and they had it for sale in their little gift shop area. But it's just a big warehouse, you know, and they're planning on having a more of a tasting experience down there on Whiskey Row in Louisville. So they're doing big things there. But then the craziest thing is, you guys ever heard of the Woodford Hotel?
Is that what it's called?
The Woodford Hotel?
Is that similar to the Bryan Station Inn?
It's same thing. Same
no,
thing.
Yeah. Can you guys elaborate on the Bryan Station Inn?
I mean, Bryan Station Inn is we'll just leave it at that.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
We'll just leave it at that.
It's actually timeless.
But,
if you want to
wait,
get that
so
way.
the Woodford Hotel, you guys have neither of you, Alexa,
do all they serve is Woodford Reserve?
No.
Is it
You get
$90.40 per night?
Do you get single barrels?
Yeah, crazy.
Is it $90.4 per night? to stay there?
It's not $90.4.
No, they do barrel proof at 90.4 as well.
No, this place, listen.
So when you go get a room, do you get like room A and B or A and C or B and C together? You don't get like your own single room?
But it's the same
Is that
room.
how that works?
It's the same room. They just blend it together.
Goobers. Damn it, Kenny. Come on. Get it together.
I was following you, Kenny. I was following you.
Come on. So, despite the likeness to the drink, the Woodford Hotel isn't for sales. It does not have any affiliation with Woodford Reserve. It's in Woodford County.
So you get your own single room there.
You can get your own single room there.
Not a blend of a
Not
room.
a blend of
Whatever price you want.
There we go.
But these guys go in there, they rent the whole entire place.
Damn.
And
how many rooms is it?
I think it's like 8 rooms.
Wait a minute. So the whole entire place is 8 rooms?
8 to 10 rooms, I think.
That's all the Woodford Inn is.
But it's
8 to 10
it's like a historic building.
I think it's somebody's house.
And each like room has like, it's well equipped, right? They're all bourbon themed.
It's like an Airbnb.
Wild turkey room. There's like the Blanton's room. There's all kinds of stuff.
All right.
I was actually thoroughly impressed with this, but they had like a bottle share hangout there. And it was a great time. The downstairs is like a whole big like conference room area. The Kentucky Louisville.
That sounds fun.
The Kentucky Louisville game was on, so I was the only one that cared about that, being all these guys are from Ohio, but allowed me to be able to share some whiskey with them, connect a little bit more and talk. And
I really wanted to go that night with you.
Yeah, and when they come down here,
I really wanted to go.
we're gonna have them on the podcast, but then also like we talked about like if they're just down here in the area doing barrel picks and stuff, they got to come hang out. So
yeah,
I felt like it was a great time. Built some good stewardship with those guys. They're doing great stuff on their podcast. they're not Arsenic Culture.
Oh no, never.
I had it in my calendar, man. I had it saved.
Yeah, but
Bourbon Bash.
But it was a lot of fun.
It
Bourbon
worked
Bash,
out
that's
with
Bourbon Bash.
that Friday night when Todd Lindsay came in, and then Sunday was the Blondes. I just
Yeah.
couldn't do 3 nights in a row.
Well, no, I get it. And then here's the other thing I was going to say. So JD gave me a box of blinds. I think there's 8 samples in there. I've been through 4 of them, which I'm really appreciative about. I've nailed 2 of them, and 2 I've been completely off on. So, but I did the same thing for him back then, and I don't know. I'm just really excited about being able to collaborate with those guys in the future and barrel picks and things they got going on and be able to support one another. That's a big thing that we talked about. Well, actually, Perry, you mentioned this My Bourbon podcast a second ago. I was messaging with Perry, and Perry said
I thought Perry's going to come on soon.
Yeah, he want to have him on the podcast too, but he said 2025 he wants to make a better connection between all the people that are doing things in Lexington and having us share more pours and things that we're doing.
We've actually talked to him about co-hosting our show too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So
fantastic.
He does dabble in beer and mead, which we also do. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. See, and so we're talking about trying to leverage that power that we have. When I say power, I mean the fact that we all have good, respectable podcasts and shows. Power?
Purr.
Perry? Power. The power that we have.
Purr. That's power.
I'm
also power.
I'm watching Kenny's head go back and forth over here. He's he's having a good time. Are you going to start rapping, sir?
No, sir. Nope. I'm not.
Skibbity nope.
Nope.
No, but I mean, I think it'd be great to be able to have a better connection in our community.
For sure. It's lacking.
It's
overall,
lacking. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
There's
There's people here that I don't even know who they are. I mean, you know what I mean? I know I think it was, is it Bourbon Night? Aren't they in Lexington?
Yeah.
Or Kentucky?
Oh, yeah, Chad and Sarah.
And so I've watched them many times. I saw them at Perry's live event a few years back, but I had no idea they're actually local. So that'd be cool. I mean, meet up with those people, Hey, they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, they were just at Justin's House of Bourbon recently, and in the past, I was talking to John and Eric at Jackson Wine and Spirits, and they said that one time they came in and bought a couple bottles and reviewed them on Bourbon Night, on YouTube, and he's like, after they came in, he's like, a bunch of people that saw it locally were coming in to talk because they got a big following, and I've met them many times in the past. Hanging out at Liquor Barn for raffles.
I'm actually surprised
I
haven't, because I've been at those raffles too, but never seen them.
They're elusive. They're an elusive couple.
They're powerful.
Kenny, did you get down to J-Hub when they were down there?
I did not.
I didn't either. They were down there recently, but
I think that was the day, dude. I feel like a truck hit me.
Oh yeah, you weren't feeling well.
Oh my gosh, dude. I woke up that Thursday morning. I feel like I got run over by a truck, dude. My head, my body, my throat was sore. I was just horrible that Thursday.
Yep. And then he well, I won't say what you did. He did his medical routine that he has, which I do not agree with. And we don't need to talk about on the podcast.
Colloidal silver, baby.
Kenny
all over in that. Do a breathing treatment with
so Kenny
breathing treatments are a game changer.
Heavy metals
with colloidal silver, baby.
Yeah. Kenny treats his own cold with.
Hey, I was ready by Sunday, wasn't I?
He was ready.
Didn't go to the doctor.
Game day.
Didn't have to take any meds.
We're not going to say anything else about that. But what I will say is I did research colloidal silver because I was worried about you hurting yourself, and it said that before antibiotics were created, so 500 years ago or something like that, that was the treatment for what you're experiencing. So congratulations on being 500 years behind.
Hey, I made it, bro.
Yay. Hey, maybe you're 500.
If only we had a medical professional on the show tonight, we could talk about that.
I know, right? Do we have a doctor?
No, we don't have one.
I was going to say I'm a PhD.
We have one doctor
not
here.
A medical.
That's right, Dr. Anthony Lamperos.
I will tell you about communications.
Well, in my infinite research online about colloidal silver,
yes,
I also read about some reviews on the intranet, on the World Wide Web. Do we have one of those?
We do. Dynamite drop in, Lenny. But in all seriousness, so this review is not really like a traditional review, but it was a comment that was left for us on Spotify.
Also tea tree oil. I put tea tree oil with the colloidal silver. Just so you know, it's really good.
We will get to this.
Do you put onions in your socks at night when you go to bed? That works.
There you go.
I've heard.
I do wear shoes to bed.
See?
So.
All right. We're going to get to this review after all. So, It's Jasper Lienarts. He basically said it was a comment he left 8 days ago on our Bomburgers and Shanks episode. And he said, had to celebrate something and bought the Bomburger after hearing your review. It absolutely does not disappoint. A great pour. And so even though that's not a 5-star review, it is an endorsement of the fact that we enjoyed Bomburgers when we tasted it. And he felt strongly enough to go on Spotify and leave a comment on our episode. So we appreciate that, Jasper. And if you would like a shout out, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Spotify, any way that you want to reach us, Instagram. And we will be happy to give you a shout out the next time we record.
Only 5 stars, though.
Only 5 stars. If you leave us one that's less, then we will. No, we've done that before. We actually covered a review that was very critical of us.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was way back before you joined the podcast. It was me, Steven, and Michael. And after we covered that review, I was like, "If you are local, I'm like, I'd like to meet you, and then I'm going to punch you." Wow! I didn't say that. I just said that tonight.
That was me.
It was a long time ago.
It was me.
It was you?
Yeah.
Damn it! Hold on, coming over there. But anyway. So, gentlemen, tonight we have a bottle that Jason, you said you've been waiting 2 years to have.
I've been waiting 2 years in this bottle. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to spoil it.
So Jason's been
Anxiously
waiting 2 years for this, and a lot of us have been waiting a long time because the bottle we have tonight is something. Well, Kenny, please. He says he wants to interrupt.
It's the Michter's 20.
I've never had that.
We decided to go ahead and run a second episode on Michter's 20. Alva's left it over here.
He left it here,
might as
so
well do a second episode.
We're going to do it. We're sorry, Ryan. There
Sorry,
might not be.
buddy.
There's not enough left for the final round of the best of. Then we're going to have you buy another bottle, sir.
Yep.
So
I like the wax, though.
So it is brought to us by the Michter's Distilling Company. Well, no.
that was a good fake out. But no, actually, the bottle we have tonight is the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye. And this is the inaugural batch, right? Because
it is.
It has been in the works for 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah.
3 years. Yep.
It looks like they took the time with that label, too. It's very raised, more so than other E.H. Taylor labels I've seen. But anyway, the distillery, you know it well, is the Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfurt, even though always the label on E.H. Taylor say old-fashioned copper distillery, even though that's not what it is anymore. Anyway, it was. The ABV is, the bottle date on this is 2024. The ABV is 63. The proof is 126. The age is non-age stated, but even though this is non-age stated, the regular E.H. Taylor barrel proof bourbon is usually between 6 to 8 years old. I would hope they'd done the same thing on the rye. The mash bill in classic Buffalo Trace fashion is unknown. Non-disclosed, but we think that it's a low rye mash bill, right? Yeah. We think that all their ryes are low rye, so maybe 51% to 58% rye, and fill in whatever else is there. Anyway, the MSRP on this, even though you're probably not going to find it for this, is $77.99.
Ooh, I can confirm you will not find it for that or find it at all. I remember listening to this though. I think it was almost 3 years ago, and I heard about it first coming out. I hit up every person I knew that could possibly land a bottle for even close to retail.
Right.
Nothing. It's coming out. Nothing. And then we went on a tour at Buffalo Trace. They told us it was not going to be released last year, whatever it was. And the best we could figure, what they told us was it was not up to the tasting panel's standard.
Okay.
That's the best answer we got.
All right.
Now, who's on the tasting panel? I have no idea. I know it's Buffalo Trace employees, but I was very disappointed, not going to lie. So I am super excited to get to try this one. Thank you, whoever got this, both of y'all.
That was a Kenny special.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you.
Yeah. So I was on that panel, and
yeah, you were.
We needed 6 more months.
We decided it wasn't quite up to standard.
It wasn't blends.
Sorry to disclose that to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny is actually a Buffalo Trace employee.
Yeah.
President, VP.
President, yeah.
VP.
So
El King.
We ended up selling these barrels to New Riff. And they put out their 8-year New Riff Rye.
Is this a buff turkey?
And so, no.
Fiction can be fun.
Now, I did have, and I got to find the messages. Somebody, we were messaging a year and a half ago, and they found through the TTB.
Yep.
Someplace out of New York had put like some kind of offshoot single barrel, some kind of a one-off thing that was a barrel-proof rye that was Buffalo Trace source, supposedly something.
Oh, wow.
So I think that they really did sell those off to somebody else as something else because it didn't hit their standards or something.
Some barrels, barrels.
I've got to find the messages on that.
We did a barrel pick there about close to a year ago for my beer group. We just regular Buffalo Trace, and Freddie Johnson was the tour guide.
Oh, nice.
He did not have more information about it.
Did he wink at you guys?
He did wink a little bit.
Okay, great.
He's actually his family is from the same hometown that I'm from.
Oh, really?
Which actually was very surprising to me.
Oh, nice.
Cool dude. I'm sure you met him before, but
I haven't. Kenny has.
Daddy-o.
Great time on that pick, but I mean, seriously, I've been waiting on this for at least 2 years. I am beyond excited to try it.
That's great. When I looked at this bottle and I looked at the tube, we all know
it looks
Taylor
a lot
has
different
a tube.
than other ones, right?
It does, but what color is
Actually,
that? So as a color, as a
semi-colorblind
man, I know it is. What color did they use here?
Faded
is that gray? Is that gray?
Yeah.
Well, I already don't like the fact that they didn't put green on this.
Like barrel proof's green.
Yeah, it should be
regular
green.
Taylor, and then barrel proof rye is what gray.
Right.
How did they gray because it makes it look bigger, is what I was told. It makes the bottle and the tube look bigger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, other than that,
it's talking sweatpants.
It's a nice presentation. It's the second best tube that I've ever seen behind Old Stubborn. Old Stubborn's got the tube game.
That could go many different ways, Anthony. I'm just saying.
Hey, I was just talking about a bourbon packaging, nothing else.
Just
okay?
packages.
Just packages. Yeah, just
packages look better in gray.
There you go. Holy cow! I knew it was a bad idea to have
me on.
No, I'm just joking. And just so everybody knows, we've done this once before on the podcast. We're not going to do it again. But if you want to weigh in on what you think of this rye, you should call 1-866-729-3722, and you will get Buffalo Trace. You will get their customer concern line, which Kenny has left a message on before. I love the fact that they still have a 1-800 number on the bottle in this day and age. It's like the dumbest thing. I mean, really, is anybody going to like be drinking and be like, I'm going to call and leave some feedback?
No, nobody's even reading that damn bottle. People own this probably. But have you had the straight rye recently from them?
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't like it recently, but that was
I've not had it in probably 5 years.
That was one of my gateway bottles
about a year ago.
Okay,
that was one of my gateway bottles. What I mean by that is when I first got serious into bourbon, I think it was 2016, 2017. I'm in Ohio, and I go to like the local liquor store, and hey, got anything? Looking 4 bottles of E.H. Taylor rye. Hadn't seen that in Kentucky anywhere.
No,
so I bought all of them. I think for $65 a piece.
Yeah.
Got all 4 of them, and I got home, I remember, and I opened it like right when we walked in the door because I was that excited about it, all the way back from Ohio, so 5-hour drive, and it did not disappoint. It was so good. But recently, I've not had one recently. Yeah.
No, I haven't either, but I mean, in the past, I liked them quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Van Winkle Family Reserve Rye, Thomas Handy, the straight rye from E.H. Taylor. I like all of their ryes, man.
I love that.
They are.
I just do.
Rye. That's one of my favorite pours of all time. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. The first time I had Van Winkle rye, like that's my favorite rye I've had. I've not had Booker's.
To say that though?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I need to say something like it's a 1978 some kind of rye, but for that one, for me, the Van Winkle rye, I think the first time I had it was about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it just stood out so much. Like it was my favorite rye at the time.
Well, do you know who else thanks you?
Who?
Julian Van Winkle.
Can he give me a bottle?
He won't respond to you on Instagram or get you a bottle, but he probably appreciates the fact that you are supporting his family reserve.
I like the probably in there.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. Van Winkle.
As in probably he may not ever listen to this podcast ever, but we hope that he does.
I actually was in the liquor barn this week, and I thought I saw him there. Somebody was staring at the end cap, like the single barrels. wearing like a nice outfit, like half bald headed.
Yeah.
I'm like, who in the hell does that look like Julian Van Winkle do from like
Maybe it
YouTube?
was him.
It could have been.
It could have been him.
He was not looking at Van Winkle do. They didn't have any.
He was looking at Nulu single barrels.
They did have some OWA and baskets though.
OWA basket? How much? $160
I think it was
a
about.
basket?
I think it's about 2 1/4, but it had a bottle of wine too. You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wine.
As long as there's summer sausage in there. You need summer sausage for that tube. Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, should we start nosing this?
For sure.
All right.
It smells like a rye.
Does smell like
It's like Buffalo Trace. Gray sweatpants. Honestly, the nose to me is kind of nondescript.
Really?
Little baker spice, a little.
Yep. I was going to drill down and say that minty.
I get a little smokiness on the nose, though.
I don't get mint. I get more smokiness than mint, but a little herbal. I mean, for sure. Just overall.
Yeah.
Mint's a flavor to me, though, or whatever aroma that really stands out. So if I pick it up on the nose or palate, like it really, that's all I get. It kind of overpowers it for me. For this one, though, I would just say baker spice and maybe just a little like a tea note, like a herbal tea, not a Earl Grey or anything specific, but just tea.
No, I've been picking up the tea note really strongly in ryes, and I can definitely smell that. I'm also smelling like, I guess it kind of goes with the baker spice, but like if I was to actually give descriptors to it, I would say like a nutmeg, maybe cinnamon in there. I tend to get a lot of cinnamon lately on Buffalo Trace products. That's something that's more recent for me. But not this one. It's not like loaded with cinnamon. It's like
I could see cinnamon on the
a little
nose.
bit of cinnamon.
I don't get nutmeg though. That's a flavor for me too. That's kind of like once I get it, it's kind of overpowering. But it might be there very subtle. I just can't pick it out.
I'm going to give you a really, really weird one. And I think maybe something might be wrong with my nose tonight. I almost get like a little bit of like a citrus, like a bitter citrus. And so, like, I'm thinking more like a grapefruit register or something like that.
Kind
like
of
a rind,
yeah.
like that kind of thing. Maybe not even grapefruit, but just like a citrus rind, probably.
I could see that.
I was saying grapefruit, which is why I was going like, wait, and I'm like, no, you don't really get grapefruit in bourbon. I've never gotten that. The only time I've ever gotten grapefruit was on a single.
Beer.
What's that?
Beer,
of course. But that single malt, we tasted a single malt from Texas, Balcones.
Oh, okay.
Balcones single malt that had a grapefruit flavor. And that was on the.
I've never had a bourbon or a rye with that flavor, but I see where you're going there. It's like the rind. I can see that for sure.
It's like citrus rind. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kenny has no nosing notes because he left us again. He actually started binning bottles and he walked off.
I thought he lost his nose.
Walked off the set. There was a bathroom break that was not sponsored by anybody. We're hoping to get our bathroom break sponsored by Deer Park Water, though.
That's good. That's good.
Stay hydrated. Use the restroom. Deer Park Water. See? Look at that.
That's way more acceptable than a bathroom break sponsored by Blue Chew. I'm just saying.
You paint the bathroom when you're in there. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, fellas.
So far on January 3rd, comment of the year. All right, perfect.
No, I said I got smoky on the nose.
Smokey the bear.
I'm gonna take a little sip.
All right, you can.
It tastes like EH, and then a little bit of Taylor. Actually, it's solid. What's the proof on this one? You said
126.
okay. Drinks under.
I like it.
So a little bit weird here.
Little good finish, sweet.
Little caramel though. Little
See,
caramel
yeah.
peanut caramel.
I don't know if we get peanut. Maybe I'll go back to it.
Slightly.
So the first time we had that, Alves cracked it when we were at Boot Hill
Right.
making knives that weekend.
Right.
And I loved it. I literally went back to it, and because usually when we have like a bottle share like that, I mean there was 15, 20 bottles there. I'll drink one of something and just go to the next. I went back to that two more times or 3 more times that same night. I enjoyed it, and then there was this is a very polarizing bottle. So many people, and even our smaller, tighter bourbon groups that are really like bourbon nerds like
Drinkers,
us,
yeah.
dude, it was polarizing. So many said hated, so many, and then some said loved. There were some in the middle that were like, it's okay, but not for the money, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it literally is all over the place. There was not a general consensus on this bottle at all.
So speaking of money, so you said it's about $80 MSRP, roughly?
Yes.
And then what's secondary on this? About
$525.
Okay.
I thought.
All right.
I might have seen $475 lately.
Barrel
but I know
proof.
last week I saw $525. Might have seen $475.
And then barrel proof bourbon, depending on the batch.
300 to 350.
Yeah.
Are the new ones.
This will come down. I mean, it's some of the newness too. You know, people waiting on this, I'm sure. But okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy this pour.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm definitely not the hate. I don't know that I'm love, but I'm like. I like it quite a bit.
So like I agree. Like Kenny, first time I tasted this was when we were at knife making class.
Boot Hill Blades.
Boot Hill Blades. Give them a shout out. And I was very shocked by number one that this was a rye because it drank more like a bourbon to me. But now revisiting it tonight for the first time since the Best of Blinds, which we'll talk about here in a second because it did have a score in the Best of Blinds. It does have like I said peanut at first, but it's almost like a funky, oaky finish.
Correct. I would agree with that.
That is interesting for a rye. The upfront flavors, let me do one more sip here.
Honestly, it reminds me of some of the wild turkey rye I've had. Like not a Christmas rye, but more of like the 101 ryes, you know?
Right. So a lot of, it's like vanilla, caramel, a little bit of fruit. Like I'm not sure what fruit, but maybe it's a citrus fruit or like a tart cherry or something like that. It's got some really, really interesting notes, characteristics to it. Absolutely. And the finish is pretty good.
Solid.
Like it's
I
not
like the finish. Nothing to complain about.
So not that it's overly warming, but it's also not leaving a nice flavor that's not disruptive or making me go, you know, like which I told you a couple times in the last couple episodes that I don't like. Finish now is becoming for me like what flavors left in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like how long the flavor goes or whatever. It's
What's
like
both
what's
for
left.
me, right? Like I'm trying to get that flavor and then see how long it lasts. But what are you thinking about this one, Kenny?
I enjoy it. And I get some of that caramelly, like bourbony kind of notes out of this rye.
Yep.
Has to be a low rye content.
to.
And somebody
Right.
in our groups tried to take a big like soapbox stand. I can't remember who that was. Took a big soapbox stand about everybody's saying it's bourbony, blah blah blah. It's excellent. It's this percent, that percent, blah blah blah.
No way.
And I'm like, look, man. I'm just saying that bourbon in general, vanilla, caramel, some of those notes. This has that traditional bourbon-y
100%.
type of tasting notes to it, not your traditional dill, your spice. That
Correct.
So, you know, I enjoy this. I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely barely rye. I mean, I don't know what the mash bill is, but I would bet money on that, a lot of money.
60% or less.
Yeah. I mean,
Has to be.
It's really good. I mean, it's not a rye though. Like if you're looking for the mineral or the like herbal, the mint, this is not it.
Yeah, the herbal mint, the dill, that
Right.
this peppery spice. It's not that.
For me, it's a bourbon drinker's rye, right?
I agree.
That's where it's at.
1,000%.
Oh, 1,000%. Damn.
Dang.
The other thing I want to say is with Buffalo Trace doing the thing with Van Winkle rye, Sazerac, Thomas Handy, regular straight rye from E.H. Taylor, all their products, this doesn't taste like the regular Sazerac rye profile to me.
not.
Not at all.
So I do feel like even though a lot of people speculate on what Buffalo Trace is doing, they definitely have more than one rye mash bill. If they don't, then call me
They're
an egg on my
magicians.
face. It's all
Well,
good.
it's either a different mash bill or just, I mean, once again, it could be a totally different
Right.
part of the warehouse, a different warehouse totally, a different whatever. But yeah, this does not taste like a handy.
No, they
No,
know
not
they
at
know
all.
what they're doing. I mean, clearly, if they're making this, if this is the same mash bill as those, I mean,
That's crazy if it's the same mash bill.
Exactly, they're wizards.
Yeah,
Wizards.
it
ain't
could
they?
definitely be a different mash bill. I can see that. But at the same point, who knows with them, man? They're so secretive.
You know what's just so weird in this day and age? Do you think that Buffalo Trace will actually ever disclose that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it leads to mystique.
Yeah.
And as long as people like the flavor of the stuff, it's funny how everybody else gets nailed for that kind of stuff. No age statements, no mash bill, not disclosing anything. Buffalo Trace never gets nailed for it.
You never
Zero.
hear any feedback from that. Or,
Zero.
They get nailed from me on it.
They get nailed from you, but not from
Not from anybody that actually
not
matters.
from anybody. Yeah.
Not from anybody that actually matters.
Wait, so we talked about 1792 when you were on the last episode, right? And the pick process there. We asked, I think we were there, didn't we ask about Blanton's? We said
Blanton's a store down there.
He said
It's made there, right? Like it's where,
Might
that's where
be
they,
made.
yeah.
I think he said something like there are times where the trucks drive through here, like for whatever. It's not. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying like he said
be
that they're
honest.
making stuff there.
All they have to do is they take those barrels back
Yep.
to
Roll it-
Frankfurt,
roll it through.
Warehouse H, and they can say it's aged at Warehouse H.
That is exactly what I've heard from
Yep.
people that would know is that they age it off-site, Barton,
Yep.
roll it through, and then say it's from Warehouse H. Because
Never-
there's no way in this world you could age all the Blanton's barrels in Warehouse H.
Right.
And we
It's not
talked
big
about how
enough.
bad
There's no
Blanton's
way.
is nowadays.
Right.
Like on our last episode, we actually cracked a newer one,
Well, at the
and
risk
it was not cool.
At the risk of starting any more conspiracies, I'll just say this. Maybe that's why Sazerac closed their gift shop. That's why 1792 closed their gift shop and closed down all the touristy stuff there. Maybe it's because they didn't want people to know what they were having to put through there as it related to Buffalo Trace. Who knows?
Could also be nobody ever wins.
That might be it too. Yahtzee!
Because every time I win, it's like, you want a tour? I'm like, no, I'm good.
No, I'm good. Nobody. It does. Their little area there where the gift shop's at
know
looks
where
like
it's
it's like 1970s Kentucky Americana. If you
100%,
will.
100%.
I'm like looking at a time warp. I'm like, what the heck is this? So maybe that's all it is. But I just want to start more conspiracy theories.
And
I
on the
like
flip
that.
side of that, some of the best tasting stuff I've had is hyper aged Barton.
Yeah, old Barton.
It's just
Yeah.
not under their own label. Old Carter's
Yeah.
label. It's under that Rock Elite 17.
Right.
It's under different labels, man. That's not theirs.
Jason, you will appreciate this. One
Probably.
of my higher rated bourbons was the 17-year-old Buckner's that was the
wow.
sweet tea batch, and our best of 20. Where did that end up? Do you know where that ended up? Oh, it ended up at number 26.
Damn.
It got
Pardon my language. Dang.
Yes, dang. And it actually was one that when we were going through the results, I actually picked it. I said, that's the Buckner 17. Like, I knew what it was just from tasting it.
Now, from my scores, Buckner's was in top 10.
There you go.
So what I did was, which one? I
Need
wasn't
to
talking
revisit.
so much
Need to
about
revisit.
these blondes.
I was on those
man.
picks.
Yeah.
Talk
Because
so much about these blinds, but I did take all the results for the blinds. We had our overall score, and then I broke down each one of our sixes scores, sent a spreadsheet out, so each person could click on their own name and see what their own personal top 10 was as well.
right. But the
That's a
reason
good idea.
the reason why I brought that up is because you were on picks for that.
I was.
And then you bought those bottles
I did. Got you all some, too.
and you got some for us.
That's
and
what put in the blinds.
Put in the blinds. So thank you for that, sir.
Yeah, the sweet tea one was probably the better one we tried that day.
And that's the one I think we have in the
Yeah.
blinds. Yeah, it's half open at my house. I'm kind of happy that it finished 26, so we're not.
And both of them were solid. I cannot speak for what their source is.
Yeah.
It's Barton.
It has to be Barton. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah,
All
it
trades
is,
Barton.
yeah.
It has to be all trades Barton.
Yeah, it's Barton.
That's what I'm saying. Some of the better tasting things out there have
I
been.
may or may not have saw the barrel. It's Barton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It has to be. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
The only thing about that, though, the price tag. So if you're looking, if somebody offered you 17-year-old Barton,
right?
what are you paying for that? 200?
It's hard to tell in this market.
300,
though.
400, man.
Yeah, I was gonna
Depending
say,
on what it is.
It has to be because this market is such that that's
Good
the stuff
point.
that can.
There's some old Carters up there that are 12 and 13-year-old Bartons that are $550 to $750.
Yeah, but what was retail on those?
200.
That's
yeah.
the
that's
thing.
what you're saying.
That's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
feel you. I
Yeah.
feel you.
So it's
Gotcha.
like, and we had a great experience up there. Nothing against them at all at Augusta. They're going to make their own stuff, and hopefully it'll be very good. I think it's a lady from Mellick, JT Mellick, maybe down.
Oh,
that
really?
way. I'm pretty sure she's their master distiller.
Really?
Really?
Is that down south?
There's
Yeah,
a Nelson,
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Rice
sure
whiskey.
it's there.
Okay.
Fact check me on that. Whoever.
Hey,
on
it's
that.
facts
That's okay.
optional,
Facts
bro.
optional. Yeah,
Oh no, that's
you
our
got
show
covered,
too.
brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
But anyway, that was pretty exciting to see. She was actually there the day that we went there, so it's pretty cool to see all that. I think good things are in their future. But these here, I mean, they've had some honey barrels too. So
That's good.
Interesting.
Good stuff. Well, Kenny, are we going straight into this now, or do you have a blind for us? Because I don't think
I have a brand new fresh glass I have not drank out of,
Okay.
and I poured into this.
Okay.
So I have a small blind for you all.
There's some effervescence on this.
it smells warm.
Yeah.
Not hot, not fusel. Just
Warming
warm.
warming like holiday spice.
It's like sitting by the campfire
Exactly.
in the middle of October.
Is this toasted, Kenny? Is this toasted rye?
It does. I could see toasted.
That's his favorite.
This tastes toasted to me. Good call, Anthony.
Ooh.
Is it the mixtures we just had?
Oh my God, that'd be funny if it was. Do you just pour the mixtures?
I don't know.
It tasted toasted.
It's pretty good.
It's very good.
That's the mixtures.
You know what's funny? You got like a little bit of a toasty mapley flavor with all that goodness, and you just don't have that on the E.H. Taylor. But again, is this a rye, Kenny? Did you blind us with a rye? I'm sure you did, right?
Oh, did you ask me something? I went back.
Is it a rye?
Yeah, it's a rye.
Okay.
I went back to the E.H. Taylor rye, dude. I love it. I don't know if I love it because it's like bourbon with a twist of rye, or if it's rye with a twist of bourbon. But it's I like when ryes have that bourbon vanilla, actual vanilla caramelly type taste out of a rye too.
Right. It's like almost like a grippy flavor. Yeah.
I think the blonde is toasted.
Smells.
It's finished. I think.
I don't know.
I think it is. I mean, it's very good too. But
On first nose,
I think the
felt
finish
like
though, the
mapley.
difference for me. I could see that a little sweet.
Yeah.
I think the Taylor has a better finish for me, for my palate.
No,
It's longer. The other one, the blonde, has a little bit of tannic, like a little bit of tannins at the end. Like it's a little bit like cloying. Maybe it's the wrong word, but close to that. It brings my tongue kind of like up a little bit more. Very good though. Both of them are very good.
I have.
So what do you think that Taylor barrel proof rye is like age wise? You think it's like 6 to 7, 6 to 8?
I would put it
I think it's
closer.
got to be 8 to 10.
I was going to say closer. It's
Maybe.
oaky. It's got oak.
What's their barrel proofs usually around? I honestly don't know. The bourbon.
Barrel
don't
proof
say,
bourbon goes
do
all
they?
the way from 120 to 130.
No, age. Sorry.
Oh, age? I think
don't say?
They don't say, but
They
most
don't,
people
but
said
it's-
6 to 8.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it, man. Like, as a quote unquote whiskey nerd, man,
It drives me crazy.
It
not
drives me
knowing,
nuts.
right? Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah.
but, and this is where I've had a small, I used to just give them the hardest time, worst time. I've had a small change of heart with them just because some of the stuff that they make is so very good.
It's very good.
If they did put an age statement on it, it wouldn't look like it stands up compared to other stuff out there, even though it tastes better. So it's like,
Good point.
I can see their point of them saying, hey, this thing tastes so great, it tastes as good as somebody else's that's claiming they got a 12, 13, 14 year. But me as a whiskey nerd, I really want to know.
Yeah, me too. But I think Buffalo Trace definitely has a point or a place to play. They're not my favorite. If you look at like Blanton's and Eagle Rare,
Elmer T. Lee.
Special Reserve. I mean, Elmer T. Lee's
Rock
fine
Hill
for 90
Farm.
proof, right? Like,
Don't
I mean,
you dare say anything about Rock Hill Farm.
Rock Hill Farm. I mean, I'd rather have Taylor Small Batch than I would Rock Hill Farm.
I just messed around.
It's a cool bottle. It's a
Yeah.
really cool bottle. But that used to sit on the shelves 5-8 years ago, whatever it is.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm
but-
hoping to make you lose your train of thought.
No,
there.
you're fine. I do think though, for a beginner, an entry level bourbon drinker, it is perfectly fine to enjoy Eagle Rare or
Right.
to enjoy Blanton's.
Right.
Just don't go crazy with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
don't overpay for that stuff. Is my personal advice to you. Buy one when you find it for around MSRP and enjoy it when you can, but don't go crazy on that. There's better stuff out there, but it's a good entry level, I think.
Especially the current blends.
I've not had one in the last 2 years.
We did an episode 4 months ago,
Rough.
Burnt corn.
where Anthony cracked a 2024. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
what-
I pulled out my open one from 2019, 2020.
much better.
Crushed it. Crushed it, not even close.
What letter was the one you all opened?
It was even a second in, believe it or not.
Second in down. Second
And it
in
was-
is where it's
I know,
at.
I
Second
know.
in is where it's at. So you can't beat that one.
Jason, can I go back real quick and correct you?
No.
Buffalo Trace. You said no, but I'm going to do
I'll
it
let you
anyway.
anyway.
Buffalo Trace, for an entry-level bourbon drinker, isn't just a good place to start. It's freaking enchanting.
100%. Yeah.
And it's enchanting to a point where, like, that's why they
Yeah.
have the hype and the lines for it and
have
everything
some
else. They have a lot of good stuff going
Good,
on
easy
there.
sippers.
Easy
They
sippers,
do.
yeah, exactly.
The thing, if you're there in line, waiting to get in some point with the 18 snakes to
Two
get
snakes,
in
two
for Blanton's.
snakes.
That's right. So you'll hear some interesting conversations, though.
I'm an admin in that group. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not.
Oh, yeah.
What does Buffalo Trace have today?
Yeah.
I'm
an
going to try to
admin.
get kicked out of there now. But
I'll just boot you right now if you want.
No, please don't.
You know,
I
funny.
need that.
One time I got booted from that group, and I emailed Kenny. I'm like, I messaged Kenny, and I'm like,
Send me a smoke signal.
I was like, what is going
Carrier
on?
pigeon to the
I was like,
house.
what is going on here? And he's like, I don't even know what happened. He's a good admin like that. He just said, I don't even know what happened. And then magically I was back in the group. So
But
somebody else
those
booted me.
conversations you'll hear in there is like, it is gold.
Yeah.
So no matter what your level is of bourbon nerdom,
Yes.
I would go there and hang out in that line because it is some really good conversation.
It is. There's
That's
a
all
lot
I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great conversation. And a lot of people with out-of-state license plates speeding into that parking lot.
Oh, yeah. Ohio's coming fast.
Yeah. Got to spend that time in the parking lot.
I went back to that rye, man. I enjoy it. I like it.
So what's our blind? I mean, I think I like the Taylor Rye better than the blind.
Me too.
But the blind's not bad.
So the Taylor Rye, we said, is a $80 and $100 MSRP.
Yeah.
Right.
Secondary is probably $475.
Okay.
The blind at retail is $500.
Ooh.
What is that?
The Willet 11-year rye.
Really? The one we just had?
I'm
we
naughty
just
like that.
Okay.
tasted
No.
that.
I thought
Yeah.
it was. I thought it was finished.
I'm naughty like that.
I
It
thought it was
tasted
actually
finished.
the Michter's
Yeah, I thought it was
toasted barrel we
too.
just had. I mean,
but that's the maple
Yep.
that we got.
And the
maple
proof on that-
butterscotch caramel.
the proof on that one. The Willet was what 120-ish.
Right.
120, 125.
It does
Right.
not drink that still.
Right.
So
Fooled by what we just drank. Kenny?
well, no. I mean, I think it's perspective, right? Like you
Yeah,
look at that,
exactly.
you take the labels off of it. Like I would rather, my personal opinion, give me this one for $475
Right.
retail. I mean, sorry, secondary
Versus
than
the Willet
500
500 retail.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
wow,
That's why
it's crazy.
That's why I poured that.
Yeah, no, good
I
wine.
wanted to pour that
Good
one
wine,
because of
sir.
that.
You killed us there. What do we have to say now? There's nothing to say.
You can say pass, try, or buy, my man.
All right. Well,
Jump in.
gentlemen, would you pass, try, or buy on this E.H. Taylor straight rye whiskey at barrel proof?
All right, I'll go first this time.
Kenny.
Retail obviously is a buy.
Yes.
Talked about before. There's this magical make-believe land of secondary that may or may not exist. But so you definitely buy at retail no matter what. Just
Sure.
because if you don't like it, you can turn over something that you want to drink on secondary. But for me, I would drink it, and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna say I'm gonna be a buy up to I would say probably $250, maybe even $300. Because this, we talked about last episode, my the extra Kentucky Owl Batch 1 rye, which is around $3 to $325. So I still like that better than this, but I would say so I'm going to buy at least, honestly, up to about $250, man. $250, $275.
So I'm a buy every day, all day at retail.
Okay.
I'm going to join Kenny, and in my mind, I said $250.
Okay.
So $250 is where I'm at.
There you go.
I think it's a fair price. I would pay that in the store. I mean, I'm happy with this. I'm glad I got to try it. Been waiting 2.5 years, 3 years. Whatever. I'm not bitter. But,
All
you
that
know.
time just wanting and wanting. Woo! Make your head blow off.
Woo! Ric Flair. Definitely recommend it, though, for me.
Yeah. This is a tough one for me. I'm a Buffalo Trace fan. I'm a tater. I am such a tater.
Potato.
I think that this switches my thing from last week of my wanting to try the Willet to maybe even passing on it. Okay, so that's one thing. Revisionist
For the
history.
price,
For the
right?
price.
Yeah.
For the price. For this, though, it's tough for me. I have to go back to our best of blinds, which I have not done, to see what I rated this. Because when I look at the list of ryes that we had,
Man, that's a
Jason,
very fair thing.
You brought this up last week when we talked last Friday. You talked about Raconteur Rye Batch 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, without going back to the list, that Raconteur beat this and some of our JD Rye picks beat it. So if a JD Rye pick beats it and Raconteur beats it in the blinds, that's going to lead me in the solid try zone. Okay?
Good point.
Solid try.
Man, you are making it hard on me now.
But
I'll tell
here's
you
the
what,
thing, though.
those JD Rye picks I've had in the past year,
Right.
You're alls you've done, Liquor Barns, and then some other groups, they're all fantastic.
They're all good, yeah.
And for what,
They're great.
$80, $90?
Yeah, and they're available.
Yeah.
Right. If you can
130 proof
Yeah.
plus. Like,
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to
Great.
say. I'm 100% with you guys. If you see this ball at retail, you're buying.
Yeah. Every day.
No
all day.
brainer. Buy at retail all day, every day. In fact, it's going to have less of retail than those bottles I just mentioned. But if we know we're not going to get it, what is the price that you'd pay at secondary? Kenny said
I said 250. You said 250,
You said 250, 300.
Well, you know what?
I think it's going to be 200 for me to 250 for a secondary price just based on the rye that we drank this year and how good rye whiskey is becoming. So that's where I'm at with it. But that's a very, like, I'm not passing on it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like, once we get this higher price, it's going to be a try. You can't pass on it. It's great whiskey. Even though the people said, Kenny, there are people in your groups that said polarizing, whatever, it's great whiskey.
All right,
So
I do have to
either
revise. And Anthony's made too much sense. He's
know,
actually brought
he's got me
intelligence
thinking.
into this.
He's got me
Oh, dang
thinking.
it.
No, that's true. All right, so
Gosh, dang it.
No, that's true. So I'm looking back at our list.
Need to chuck me some hot sauce over here.
Raconteur
Pepperoncini.
Rye.
There you go, pepperoni.
Raconteur Rye finished 24th.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Batch 2.
Batch 2, we did not put batch 1 in. A Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye pick. One of them finished 18th. Another one finished 32nd.
Okay.
Where did E.H. Taylor finish?
Barrel Proof Rye finished 36th.
Okay.
So,
But again, I want to see my individual rating of that because I don't remember where I rated it.
because I do need to look at my individual.
Yeah.
But wow, so you got all right. I'm changing up then, man. I'm about to go officially change. Buy at retail, and I would say based on what those scores are potentially, I would buy up to probably 175-ish.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm still staying 250, but I'm a homer for
I'm gonna
that
say
one.
170.
No, I get you.
Yeah,
I get you on that,
175, maybe 200. Because here's the thing, though. Those two Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Ryes we put in there were phenomenal.
Fantastic.
I've had
I'm
four,
sure one of them was your all's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I've had 4 or 5
Thank
Jack
you,
Daniel's
Jason.
Barrel Proof Ryes that were just hot to be hot and not good.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So those are so hit or miss. This is a batch that you don't have to worry about. So if you find this,
Consistent.
It's
Yeah.
it's going to be
consistent.
consistency.
Yeah.
Whereas you find a Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye out there, it might suck, it might be okay, or it might actually be very good, and then you have no idea.
That's true.
I think it's a really
So
good point.
I'm gonna say
for-
175 to 200 versus my 250, 275. I'm gonna be buy at retail. I'd buy secondary to 175 to 200.
Right.
I'm staying 250, but I think it's a really good point too. Like for newer drinkers looking at it, like, you know, the single barrel picks are sexy, right? Like they're just like, ooh, they could be great, right? They could be the best thing you've ever had, could be bad too.
Right.
This one, the batch proof of the barrel proof, so it's a big batch blended. It's going to be consistent. You know what you're getting, so a lot to be said for that. But Jack Daniel's in the past year and a half, 90% of the barrel proof ryes I've had have been fantastic. Anything
yeah.
above 130 proof. Not that I'm a proof forward, not that I have to have it 130 proof,
Right.
but anything above that has been fantastic. Now, the bourbon's been hit and miss for me,
Uh-huh.
but the rye is where it's at. So if you look at it from a value standpoint, this is not the top of the value market for me.
Gotcha.
But I'd still buy it up 250.
But Raconteur Rye
Fantastic.
And
finished above it.
I can't
MGP.
That's 130
95
bucks.
Bring
can't
it
say
out.
enough about that. But it's funny, like, you
wanna try
guys think
some? I
about
got
this.
some.
Oh yeah, no,
got
I
them.
know you do. I know. Listen, I might have some of that. But here's the thing that's funny about this. Like, none of us are disputing we'd buy this at retail. All of us are saying it's a 100% buy at retail. 100%. All we're arguing about is how much we'd pay for it on secondary.
100%, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not even like a point where we're going, okay, it's just about how much you're willing to spend. And for some people, that might just be like about a collection. It might be the fact they have E.H. Taylor
Yeah.
on the shelf.
Yeah.
They like the way it looks. They got the affinity for it, so they might spend more. But for us, we're just trying to give you the best opinion that we can. You know, every day, week in and week out, just trying to do the best we can.
And that's where I've also kind of softened up about Buffalo Trace. If you listen to the podcast
Right.
over the last year and a half, what Buffalo Trace charges and advertises at retail,
Right.
which means they're selling to the distributors for less money than that.
Right.
They have the absolute best, not even remotely close, of any distillery for the most premium whiskey on the market at the lowest MSRPs.
Totally agree.
At the lowest MS. So that's where I've softened up on them a little bit, you know, because I think they do create their own secondary market, which is, you know, that's
They do.
their marketing, their advertising. But on the soft side, man, look at their whole entire BTAC, all their Pappy stuff, this stuff, for what they have for at $78, dude, it kills everything else in this room.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
MSRP.
If you look at
for
for
sure.
MSRP,
Right.
right.
Right. Even then, man, to take us out, I just had a little sip, Jason. Are you sharing that Raconteur? Batch 2.
Got batch 1 there too.
I know. Batch 1's in the one glass, but batch 2 is, it's delicious, man. Holy cow. There's a reason why I think it finished 24.
Dude, that Raconteur, man.
It's killer.
Dang it. See? So that's the thing. Raconteur was 130 plus tax. I like it better than this, I think.
I agree.
So how am I going to spend $200 on that when I don't know.
You want that tube.
I guess.
The gray tube, baby.
Instead of making things easier, you just made them a lot harder.
Well, Raconteur 1 and 2 is flat out awesome. Batch 3 rye, which will be Kentucky instead of MGP.
I'm excited for that
is on
one
its
too.
way out soon.
When's that one? You know what's coming?
It's about, I heard it's basically about ready. So I would say it'll probably release mid-January to late January, I'm thinking maybe.
Wow.
Just let me know when you want me on that episode.
You're coming back.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just sit in the corner, have my little glass.
I'll
There you
put
go.
another case of it. We'll see.
Boom.
Boom.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
Head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.